Welcome to another video of PBN Mastery. So, what I want to show you in this video is how to buy domains. I'm not going to show you where to get them. I'm going to show you how to buy them. So, what to look for in terms of metrics and spam, all that sort of stuff. Exactly what to look at when you're buying domains, so you don't get ripped off by shady brokers or waste money through whichever means you decide to get them, just buying crappy domains that aren't going to have much power. So, with that said, let me go into the absolute basics, just in case you don't notice already. So, when people talk about DA, they generally refer to domain authority, and what this means is it's a metric used by Moz. So everyone knows Moz, like Moz.com, or SEO Moz, they were formerly known as. And they have a tool called Open Site Explorer, and it basically looks at the backlinks of your website and tells you how good it is. So it shows you what the backlinks are, and they have a metric, or like a mini algorithm they have, that decides how authoritative the domain is. So this metric, DA, just measures the authority of the whole domain. And then going on to the next one, PA, which is again is Moz again, is the other metric, and this measures the authority of a single page. So I'll go into stats to look at later, but that's what these mean. So if you see this, like people say DA and PA, you're like, what the heck is that? It's domain authority and page authority. Another one you're gonna have to look out for, which is probably more common now than DA and PA, is TF and CF. So TF stands for trust flow, and this is a majestic.com metric. So Majestic SEO, now just Majestic. They have the metric trust flow, and it just measures the trust and like authority and everything of the website as well. The least technical way of understanding this possible, because you don't need to understand the technicalities of how exactly it works, as long as you know what numbers to look for. And the next one, citation flow, is really more so about the power. So you can have a really high citation flow and a really low trust flow, which means it's a bad domain. It has power, but it's probably really bad links. There's very little trust there to it. And citation flow, again, is about the power of it. And again, this is a majestic metric. Another one you'll see a lot is RD. And what it stands for is referring domains. What it means is the number of different sites that link to the site that you're checking. So if I link 5 times within one post, that counts as 5 backlinks, but that only counts as 1 referring domain. So referring domains is a good metric to look at because it allows you to see how many links are from different websites versus if you have 500 links all from the same website, it's not a good domain. I mean, presuming there's no other good links from other sites. So this is an important metric, and this isn't owned by one particular company. This is just a standard metric that every SEO looks at, is the number of referring domains going to a domain. Okay, so let me give you some ideas of what to look for. I'm going to recommend looking at trust flow as the metric. Now, trust flow is not 100% accurate, guys. It is not. So I'm going to explain a little bit what you need to do afterwards. But just as a quick check of how good a domain is, then you can look into it further from there. You want to see if the domain has a trust flow of 15 plus. Now, again, this isn't black and white. So sometimes I have domains that are less than trust flow 15 and are quality domains because these tools like Majestic and stuff aren't 100% accurate all the time. So I have domains that are less than this, but generally speaking, it's good to check and say if it's a trust flow of 15 plus, it's generally a good domain to look into, not just to purchase. Don't just say, oh, it's trust flow 15, I'll buy it, that's good. It's not always good, it's just a metric to look at to investigate further, so you don't have to look at every single domain. And taking this a little bit further, here's a little calculation to figure out if it's a good domain very quickly from the metrics. But again, this is a preliminary check. You still need to check further than this. So you want the trust flow and the citation flow to be very similar. We mentioned earlier, if you have a really high citation flow and the trust flow is really, really low, then it means that it has like links, but they're really spammy and not really that good. So it's not a good domain to have. So one thing you can do is you can do a little calculation like this, where you do trust flow. So the trust flow is 15. You 15 times 1.25, and that's the maximum that the citation flow should be at. Again, guys, this isn't black and white. It's just a very good way of calculating if it is similar enough. So trust flow times 1.25, and the citation flow should be a maximum of the number that comes up as a result of that. So 15 times 1.25, that should be the citation flow, or the maximum that citation flow should be. Just a very easy way of getting a preliminary check, guys. A preliminary check. This isn't a final, if it matches this, then it's a good domain, but it's a preliminary check to see if it's a domain that's worth investigating and worth buying. It's a very quick check you can do initially before you start going into this other stuff, which is that you need to look at the backlinks of the website. You need to have a look and see, is this a good website in terms of the backlinks that it has? So are they naturally occurring backlinks that would really happen for a real business? That means if it's something that you can go out there and replicate very easily yourself, it is a bad domain. People always ask me, how do you know if it's bad backlinks or spammy backlinks or anything? Bad backlinks are basically anything you can go out there and just replicate yourself. If that's all they have, it is not a good domain. For example, if they have loads and loads of blog comments, firstly, if it's blog comments, it's probably spam. It's forum links, it's probably spam. And obviously I just put spam in it because there's different types of spam. So anything that automated from GSA, SCR, or any type of automation software, or like spammy web 2.0s, or anything that looks spammy, then like that's a no-go. And aside from that, like blog comments and directories, they can be okay in very small in numbers, but if that is the only links going to this website, if it only has blog comments and only has directories, then it's not a good domain because there's very, very little power behind those types of links. It needs to have proper types of posts, and I'll show you again in a moment what I'm referring to when I talk about these types of things. I'll show you some spammy looking sites so you can see exactly what's bad about it, and I'll show you a good example as well. And you find a way of checking, and this is the first way, by the way. So you do the stat checking, and if it passes the basic qualifications which we mentioned before on the trust flow and the citation flow, then you look into the backlinks, and you can use a tool like majestic.com, Ahrefs to do this, whatever you want to do. I use majestic.com, and I can show you in a second just how I do that. And then you just check the backlinks manually and have a look at each of them, not every single one, but like the top 5 or so, and a quick brief overview, like scan down the rest of them and see how good they are and see if they're spammy or not. Then you move on to the next check, which is the Wayback Machine check. And basically what this is you're looking at old iterations of the website to see if it was legit or not. So if in the past it was used as a PBN, there's a 99.99% chance it's a terrible domain, because why would they let it expire? If they have this as part of their PBN and they're making good money from it, there's no reason to let the domain expire, so it's probably bad. If it used to be a spammy website that sold, I don't know, fake goods or all these different things, then again, you don't want that domain. So this just allows you to see what it used to be in the past to give you an idea of whether or not you really want to own that domain. So let me just dive into a couple of examples and open up my browser and show you exactly how this stuff works. Alright, so I've got the Wayback Machine open here, but what I'm going to do first is go to Majestic and show you how that stuff works. So what I've done is I've searched PimlicoPlumbers.com, which is a plumbing company in London. Just an example of if these guys' domain expired for some reason, this would be a good domain to grab. So okay, so this domain, the trust flow and the citation don't fit the requirements that we mentioned before. So if you times 25 by 1.25, 46 is obviously over that recommendation. Now, the reason I bring this up is because there is a recommendation, it's a guideline, it's not a fixed rule. So it's not black and white, like it only works this way and it never goes against this. Sometimes it will go against these guidelines that they give you, and that is okay. That is why you want to do these checks, because when you look into the backlinks of this, it has some actually really good backlinks. Like if you look down here, we can see that it has a link from a testimonial of a real business site. If I click onto this, it's a real business site. There's numerous other stuff in here. If I go to the backlinks tab, actually let me see more, and they actually have some good links. I'm pretty sure I've seen some educational, like a university website linking to them here before as well. Let me scroll down here. There's the testimonial there, highgateheating.com, which looks like sounds like a real business website as well. And you can actually click into these and double check them yourself. You don't need to just look at the overview here. So this is like a testimonial on a real business website. If you scroll down some more, there's other links that just seem quite legit. A lot of them are URL anchor text, but that's fine. Now there will be some stuff as you go through this. There's like a directory. So if you search directory, there's one there, Jasmine directory. So there will be directories in here, but that's not what they're getting all the power off of. There's numerous other links in there. I can't seem to find the university link now. Oh, there it is there. So number 8 is this university, so .ac.uk, which is a university website in the UK. So they've got like an educational link. So they have some solid links. Now, obviously, this domain isn't available because if it was, I'd buy it and not show it in this video. But I just want to give you that quick little example of what a good domain could look like when you look at the backlinks. So it does have some directories and stuff in there, but it has some legit links that you couldn't just go out there and just recreate yourself really easily. It's not like spammy stuff. It's like real business links that a real business would naturally have if they were in business. Actually, I think they did some SEO and outreach and stuff, but they've got some like genuine links that you couldn't just go out there and recreate for yourself. And when you look at the anchor text and stuff, it's like plumbing and Pimlico Plumbers, which is their area and stuff like that. It seems natural enough. Actually, it's way over optimized, but it's not like buy Viagra online and shit like that. Like it looks like legit anchors, and you actually look at the backlinks and you go onto them, and they look like real sites linking to them. It's not like PBN sites, and it's not like directories and stuff like that. Let's go on to a spammy example. Now, the first red flag when you see this domain is don't buy it. Like straight away, you can see replica Oakley USA. Like obviously that's a spammy domain, so you wouldn't want that. Remember I mentioned before about citation flow measuring more about the power than trust flow? Well, you can see the citation flow in this domain is 26, whereas the trust flow is 0. So it's a very quick indicator that this is a spammy as heck domain. And then we scroll down a little bit more, we can check the backlinks. We see the anchor text as well, which gives us a really quick overview that this is spammy. Firstly, that's GSA anchor text, so visit poster's website. That's standard stuff that comes out with GSA, and it's all replica Oakley stuff. So again, very obviously spam. You can look at no follow and do follow ratio sometimes, but this one doesn't really show a good indicator because oftentimes if it's blog comments and stuff, it's mostly no follow. But you don't really need to worry about that. So let's actually look at the backlinks. Okay, so check the first one, and we'll check the second one, and we'll check the third one as well. Why not? And what I'm going to do is just copy the anchor text here to make it really quick, easier to check. So if I search this, it hasn't loaded yet. Actually, it still hasn't loaded. I don't see it. Oh, yeah, over here. So I don't know why it didn't come up when I searched it. So over here, you can see that it's some really spammy looking links that they've stuffed in here on, I don't know what this is, some sort of forum or something. So it's like a forum spammy link. Anyone can go out there and replicate if they wanted to, which means it's a bad link. And this is even worse so because it's spam. But even if it's not that much spam, like it's not like replica Oakley stuff, if you can go out there and generate the exact same link yourself, then it's not really a good link. And this one here, some Chinese sort of site by the looks of it. If I throw this keyword in here, you can see it's a blog comment. So all, as well as that, there's all this other spammy blog comments here as well. So this isn't a good domain to be on. Rumpool.com, and again, this is a spammy blog comment. I think it's no follow. You see, scroll down here, it's another blog comment. So this is very obviously just a quick look on the backlinks that it's like blog comments and stuff that anyone can go out there and generate. So it's very obviously a spammy domain. I'm sure I don't need to really explain why. Just looking at the backlinks, you can see very easily. Another way you can do this is if you go into the Wayback Machine, and if I search replicaoakleyyusa.com, and this is archive.org/web or web.archive.org, I'll put a link below the video so you can check it out, and then search browse history. What we can see is basically old iterations of the website. So I can see here on May the 16th, they got a snapshot there. So let me click that. And sometimes it doesn't load, sometimes it does. It's going to depend. And also it's going to depend how well it loads. But if you scroll down here, we can see that they're selling like replica Oakleys. So like Oakley frog skin sunglasses. I'm messing up my words from speaking too much, doing all these videos. And all this sort of stuff. So you can see exactly what it is. And if it wasn't abundantly clear already that they were selling replica Oakleys, then now it is, because you can look on their site, even though the images aren't loading properly this time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It really depends on the website. But it allows you to see back to the history of the website. So if you go back and it looks like it's in a PBN, again, a PBN is pretty obvious to spot because it's just like a blog with lots of links to random different sites, then don't buy the domain. If you go back and see it's some spammy e-commerce store selling fake goods, then don't buy the domain. If you go back and see it's some old adult related website, and don't buy the domain. Like, it's very simple to look back and just see if you want a domain or not. So that's about it, guys, for this video. Look at those preliminary numbers like I mentioned before. They're not 100% accurate all the time, but it gives you a starting point to look at, and then from there, check it in Majestic, check it in the Wayback Machine, and see if it's the domain that you want. The most important thing, guys, is the backlinks to see if they're quality or not, but also if they have good backlinks, then you don't want to buy it if it used to be used for a PBN. So that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.